Howdy folks, and today we're looking at how to paint Yvraine for the Aeldari range. So to start off with, we primed the model black, then did a white highlight on it. The reds were done using just fire red over it. And then whilst working on the purple, we have used Hexed Lichen from the Vallejo range. So yeah, we're just doing that all over the model, on her skirt or dress, whatever you want to call it. And then we're going to be highlighting that using once again the Vallejo Air range, and we're using Warlord Purple for this for the highlights. I think the two colours go together quite nicely, so I'm sort of working with what I have slash what I know works. I think it looks good, so I've sort of stuck with it. So we're going to be doing this turquoisey colour, and we're going to be using a different paint that I normally don't actually use, and that's Caribbean Blue from the Scale Colour range. Just painting a cat, literally just applying that all over the cat, and we're slowly starting to do it on the feathers as well. So the feathers are going to be the same colour as the cat basically. So yeah, just make sure to do that quite carefully so you don't end up getting it on any other bits of the model. There are ways around it. If you think you're not going to be able to do it carefully, you can use some blue tack and literally just blue tack up the bits that you think that you might get the paint on. And then there's other things like tape that you could use to tape off the parts which you don't want the turquoise getting onto. Now after we've done that, I'm going to be working on her hair, and here we're using Ushabti Bone from the Games Workshop range, or anything that's equivalent. Another colour that's really similar is Sandstone from the Vallejo Air range again. So you just want to be carefully doing that, just to make sure you don't get it on any part of the model, as it can be quite tricky. So just really, take your time with it. You don't have to rush it, it's not a race. So yeah. We're also using that same colour on her sword, because she's got quite like a bony looking sword. I think it's called a husk blade, I believe. So yeah, make sure to do the husk blade in that colour as well. So now we're moving on to the underbelly of a cat, and we're once again using the same colour as we were using previously, and just doing like the fur on the chest as well as the underbelly of the cat in that same colour. Now we're using the black, in this instance from the Vallejo range, but literally any black will do, like the Abaddon black from Games Workshop. And we're doing like I suppose the other bits which haven't been done yet, so where her tights are. I think the best way to do it is to have a picture next to you for reference, just so you can see where you've got to apply them black colours. Yeah, this is one of the more tricky parts, and you really want to make sure that you don't end up getting it you don't end up getting it on any of the other colours. So we're just highlighting the black here now using sea grey, and I think that's a brilliant colour. It's not too far from the black, and it goes on quite nice and smooth, and you get that almost like a natural highlight, which I think looks great. So we're onto the brushwork now, and we're using Retributor Armour, and basically we're going to be using that on all the gold parts. So mostly it's going to be little details that she has on her clothes, on her sword, and obviously the gems as well. So once we've done that, you can either use Corax White from Games Workshop, or Any other white is fine as well. I mean, I've quite often used Ulfon Grey. That's a really good colour for something like that. So here we're using Stormhost Silver, and we're just doing a little fan thing that she's holding in her hand. Forgot the name of it, sorry. For her face, we have used Rockhearth Flesh, and it was really thin down. So we're just, yeah, just want to make sure you thin it down quite nicely, and then you need several thin coats of it. After we've done that, we're going to be doing thinning down, reikland Fleshade, and using that all over the model. Once we've done the simple steps of the face, we're going to be using Astrogranite. So that's like your sand and paint mixture that you can put straight on the base. So here I believe I thinned down some Agrax Earthshade, quite heavily thinned down, and I'm just putting it on her leather belt. I'm putting it on, yes, some of those parts particularly. And on the gems, we are using Corn Red as the base. Also forgot to mention that we shaded the reikland, the golden parts of the reikland Fleshade. God, I can't bloody get myself together today. It's just, I don't know, seems like it's been a hectic week. So yeah, for the blue gems on her chest, we're using Calidor Sky, and there's 2 blue gems on the wrists as well that she has. So for the next bits for the gems, where we're going to be doing the highlights on them, we will use Vermilion. So sorry, it was Mephiston Red from the Citadel range, followed by Vermilion from the Vallejo range, followed by Hot Orange from the Vallejo range, and then doing a white dot in the upper right corner. We're obviously doing the same for the blue gems as well, except on the bottom left corner we're using light sea grey as sort of the highlight colour. So now we're using Agrax Earthshade thin down, and we're just putting that all over. You could use Nuln Oil as well. I think Nuln Oil will probably work a lot better. After we've done that, we're getting some Longbeard Grey and dry brushing that onto the base, so you can see the the sand particles a lot more. You can see the texture of the base that way. So here I'm using Corax White for the eyes, and just carefully trying not to get it on anything. For the cat, we've used Avalon Sunset for the eyes. Just want to be careful that you don't get that on any of the turquoise bits. So here we're using some Agrax Earthshade. All Seraphim Sepia will work as well. And we're basically just putting that into the eyes. Using a sponge, using Stegadon Scale Green, we are doing a sponging effect on the cat as well. Now here I'm doing a highlight on the gold, using Auric Armor Gold, followed by a Baden Black for the rim of the base. I should have probably done that last, but I tend to do it a little bit earlier. Here we're using Liberator Gold to highlight, as well as followed by Stormhost Silver for the final highlight of it all. So here I'm using some Gorefall Brown and just dry brushing that onto the belt area, sort of to bring out all the details. I've already done the tufts, and you could have used any colour, any tufts that you wanted, but I thought green would go quite well with this particular model. Now here we're doing the highlight on the eyes of the cat, and we're using fleshade yellow for this. Well, thank you very much for watching the video, really appreciate your time. So this was a quick guide on how to paint this model. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if it seemed a little bit hectic today. Would really appreciate a like, a comment, and a subscribe. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good one. Bye bye.